Welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana, and I want to do a quick video about purging. In my recent video, the most recent video I did, I talked a little bit about purging, and somebody asked a question how I experience purging or how I go through purging. And the way that I see it, purging is really, it's like burning out all of the impurities that are within us, or it is going through our falsities. Anything that is impure is being extracted or removed. And this process is really an emotional process. It's like alchemy. So when I say that I'm purging, it's almost like it's removing all of the false beliefs, false identity, traumas, things that are, you could say it kind of like the layers built, the protective layers that are built on top of my authentic self. And the further we get along on this spiritual awakening, the whole spiritual awakening, you know, it's not just sunshine and woohoo. It's really going into the depths of our emotion and finding these falsities or impurities, and the extraction of them is extremely painful. And a lot of times we don't even know what we are extracting. We just fall into these deep emotional rabbit holes, and just feel the extremities of the emotions without even thoughts being attached to them. Sometimes it's pure emotion, pure raw emotion. And the way that I see it is that it is there for us to expand emotionally so that we can feel the complete depths of who we are, or we can feel the broadness of the spectrum, all of the spectrum of emotions that we have capacity for, which is really going to bring us back around. It's a paradox of sorts. When we can expand, it's just like a tree, right? For a tree to be able to reach heavens, its roots have to be anchored that far down into the earth. So in order for us to set ourselves free of traumas that will haunt us, we have to process them, and we have to learn ourselves intimately. We have to know what our capabilities are, and what emotions we are capable of feeling. And in order to do that, we have to go through those emotions and actually feel those emotions to the extreme. And even just in feeling those emotions sets us free, because just being able to feel those emotions will release anything that we were avoidant of, or any false behaviors that were created in order to protect those emotions, right? Because these emotions are so big, and the magnitude is so extreme, and we were avoiding them our whole lives because we feared them, because we feared the intensity of them, or the pain, the amount of pain that we go through on this awakening. And you know, I kind of see it like giving birth to a child. When you give birth, at some point, it's beyond you. It's not like you can stop it. It's happening. And I think that if there was if we had a choice in the matter, then we would just stop and say, no, I cannot feel that pain. It's so painful. And so at some point, during the spiritual awakening, it is taken out of your hands. And you are going down that route, whether kicking or screaming and trying to hold on to the sides and not letting go, but you're still being dragged. or you can release. So with myself, the further I get along this process, I understand that the surrender is the quickest way. And I can also see the pattern of it because I've gone into the depths of the pain so many times. And in the beginning, it's like you are you're trying to cope with the pain through pleading, or through trying to be avoidant, or trying to push against the pain, like make up excuses with your mind why it isn't so, why you don't have to feel this. No, be happy, be happy, be happy. You get yourself focused on something else so that you don't have to feel it. And that's just being avoidant. And the more you are avoidant of it, the more you are prolonging it. And I realized that in looking backwards, that there wasn't really another route that I could have taken, because I didn't realize I was avoiding it while I was avoiding it. I had to have gone through that stage as well in order to get to the stage of understanding what surrender even feels like. And surrender, and then I went through a stage of, okay, I feel this pain now push through the pain. Push it, extreme it, make it as intense as I can so that I can push through it as quickly as possible. And that works in a way. It does work. And now I'm just a little bit more allowant. I understand, and more lenient with myself. And I can sense when it's coming, because I start feeling. First of all, as long as you still have work to do, there are still places in your consciousness that are cloudy. Means there's still places that you can feel. If you're honest with yourself, you sit down, you start feeling there's still areas that you don't have perfect clarity in, like perfect, serene, crystal clear, absolute clarity in. And so in myself, I know that I have these foggy places. I still have foggy places. I know. As long as there are things that you don't have figured out, and there's places in your life that aren't completely in sync, aren't completely working in complete coherence, then there is still something there that needs to be purified. And in myself, I can feel it kind of like bubbles. They're like, it feels like something's coming or something's rising. I can feel and now in these days, since I can feel that something big is coming. So I know that I'm going to be going into a deep purging here in the next few days or a couple of weeks. I can feel it. And part of me is dreading it. Part of me is like, it's like fear of the fear itself. When a few years ago, when I had like these anxiety attacks. I would have these crippling anxiety attacks, and I started realizing that the anxiety was around the anxiety. I was afraid of the anxiety attack, and that would bring on an anxiety attack, fear of the fear. And so I started feeling a little bit of that coming up in the last couple of days, like, okay, oh no, it's coming. I know it's coming. This one is going to be a big one, because I'm at a place where I can feel there's a threshold. And whenever there's a threshold, I know that it's going to be super intense. Just a minute, I have to get my son up. So, and then I just let myself off, and I say, you know what? What's going to come is going to come, and it's going to be for my highest good. It is going to teach me. Every time I go through one of these purges or these intense states of complete pain, I know it's for my higher good, and I always come out the other side with more clarity. Standing stronger on my feet, much stronger and less avoidant, more responsible, all of a sudden I see things that it seems like everything becomes so much more neat and clean for me in my life, and tasks that I used to procrastinate around just seem like they come so much simpler and easier for me. I just like, okay, what was in this? Why was I avoidant of this? Things that I put off. And it seems like just in general, on more a mystical level, things work out better. Things just start coming into sync. Things just seem to, all of a sudden the right people show up at the exact right time. I'm thinking of something and it shows up. The answers just seem to come to me. And so with me, and it also seems like my telepathy is becoming much stronger. The channeling is becoming far more intense. The messages seem to be more pure and clean and coherent and easier for me just to move through me. It used to be, I still have a book that I need to write, that I started writing, that I didn't finish writing, and it came to me, let's say 6 or 7 years ago, just as a download, boom, came to me. And I sat down and I wrote it out, and it came with pictures, and I drew the pictures. I have the drawings. I drew the pictures and even painted them digitally. And I still haven't finished it, because then I start getting into my ego mind and wait, how am I going to word this? And then when you start getting into the thinking about it, and then it becomes like your ego self thinks that you have to do it. And then it's like, what do I say here? How do I say this? And so there's less and less of that. It seems like my life has just become more fluid. Things, as they come, I'm just like, okay, put it out. And then it's less of that blockage of just receiving, and holding, and then feeling like I'm going to explode at some point. And so I still have things that are backed up that I feel like I do need to do. I'm writing now more and more. But I do feel like whatever new is coming to me, I'm allowing to flow. That way I'm not getting more blocked up, more things that are on the to-do list that I have to do. And another thing that I realize is that when things come, they're relevant for that moment. And if you can just live your life in the consistent and constant flow, then you don't have all this baggage hanging on you from your past that's like nagging at you that you were supposed to do this, you were supposed to do that. And with me, it seems like there's a lot that wants to flow through. And one of the things that I've learned that kind of lets me a little bit off the hook in that is understanding that whatever is most important gets my focus and gets the limelight. And whatever fell off, it fell off because it was of less importance. And I am always receiving new. So if it fell off in its time, there's no need for me to keep dragging it from the past into the future, because I'm a progression. I'm always getting bigger and greater and expanding. And so that in knowing that, it's helped me release a lot of baggage that I've brought along with me, even though I do still have boxes over there of things that I channeled before I even knew that I was channeling, that I do want to go through and just start processing it, see if there's anything of importance in there. I imagine that most of it I will just throw. There's a lot of psychological things in there. I've been getting in the last years more into mystical things, but at the beginning of this process there were a lot of psychological things. So I may, as I go through the notebooks, I may bring some of the psychological things forward in videos. It could be helpful. It could be things that are helpful also for me to remember. It'll also for me be trauma releasing, because I will be going through my past years, kind of reliving it, knowing why I wrote that down, and kind of revisiting and anchoring things in. So back to the purging. The purging is really just a purifying process. So the purging and the pain is when we are pushing against. So the pain is caused from non-acceptance, from trying to hold on, from false beliefs that are trying to be broken down, and that we are not releasing, that we're stuck in some kind of loop, still holding on to a falsity of the ego trying to hold on to its sense of I and not release over the power, because we're stuck in something. We're stuck in some kind of loop. And when we try to do the purging process with our mind, we're going to be continuously stuck in those loops. So the easiest way that I am finding, and that I have found through my experience, is just allowing the emotions. Because when I'm purging, a lot of times it's just laying down and holding, and you can relax the body. When you relax the body, you allow that energy to flow through. A lot of times when we are in that pain, our body tenses up, and we're holding. We're also holding our breath, and we're also holding our muscles. You'll see. So a lot of tension is held in the muscles. So if you can do stretches. This morning I did a yoga, and I felt like I released so much. I did like an hour and a half yoga online. So releasing the body and just letting the body go, like limp. And a lot of times that itself will be very scary, but you can feel those emotions flow through you, and sometimes you can feel it come out of like your foot or something, the tingling. Meditation, I always say meditation. I meditate daily. Meditation it's grounding. I used to meditate sporadically, like whenever I would feel meditation. Whenever I would feel the need, like I would be already in the stage of, I need to meditate. And then I would sit down and meditate. And I met a guide to life, my guide to life. And he said, well, why don't you just meditate every day? And then you're out ahead in front of it. So you are not waiting for, and it really is a grounding. When you can meditate, get out into nature. I know that's something that, but it really helps. It really helps. And putting bare feet on the ground. I just saw a video today, like a little quick video of somebody that put their feet in a copper bowl with water and some salt and minerals, and then ran a copper like post into the ground and wired it into the water. And I thought that was really cool. I think I'm going to try that, see what it does. They said it rejuvenates or like re-energizes, lifts your spirits. So I'm going to try that as well. And the main thing is just allow the emotions to flow. When you allow the emotions to flow, then you process it through the emotions. If you're trying to do it with your mind, you're going to be stuck in those loops, because you can't figure out, you can't be above the thought and in the thought at the same time, and you will still be using the same thought systems that are holding you in the place. But when you just go through the emotion and you allow just the emotion, then the emotion will pull the thoughts. Right? So you just allow it to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And once you don't have that base fear of your own emotions, right? Because the deeper you go with the pain, it'll also release the traumas that are there because of the pain. And then it will also release the thoughts, and those thoughts will fall away, and that will be like a byproduct of your capability of now being able to process emotions to that depth. And so going through the emotions and allowing those emotions will bring up all the traumas that are at that level of emotion, and it will allow you to completely do the work without your thought. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Feel the emotions. To feel the emotions is just to surrender into it. Just let yourself go and trust the process. This is divinely guided. There is a higher intelligence. The intelligence that created you is at hand. The intelligence that created you knows the route and is guiding you to your own release. This is your saving. You're coming into your own. You're coming into righteousness. You're coming into your alignment, your spiritual awakening. You are wakening up from slumber. And in order to awake, you're going to have to release all of the crap. And to release all of that crap, the false identity, is going to be painful. That's all there is to it. As you know, it's maybe sometimes it happens like that, but still you have to get to those depths. So I am sending you guys so much love. I love you. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was helpful. If you would like to speak with me one-on-one, my contact information is in my website below. Thank you.